All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We're talking about the Denver Broncos in tonight's video. It has been way too long since my last Broncos video. But folks, Bo Nix intrigues me greatly. I think Bo Nix easily will be the starter on day one. I know you guys just threw the pads on for the first time today, and Bo Nix, not too hot today. He did showcase his legs, but folks, Sean Payton's gonna get Bo Nix right. I'm telling you this. You're going between Jarrett Stidham, Zach Wilson, and Bo Nix. That's a quarterback battle going on right now. We're going to talk about all this in today's video or tonight's video, but I'm telling you, and here's the thing too, Denver's defense is a lot better than people think. I get it. They struggled greatly in a numerous different areas last season defensively. Their defensive line looks really solid to me. It's littered with studs like Zach Allen. I mean, Zach Allen had like almost 30 quarterback hits last season. He only had 5 sacks. But it's just kind of an under-the-radar unit. They've got a bunch of players. First off, I like a lot of their free agent defensive acquisitions. I think dudes like Cody Barton are money. And then they also have a decent amount of defensive players entering contract years, so they've got chips on their shoulders. But welcome back to the channel. Obviously, we're talking about Bo Nix and the Denver Broncos in tonight's video. But before we do, if you guys enjoy it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. Broncos fans, if we could try and get this video to 100 likes, that would mean the absolute world to me. We're definitely going to be ramping it up right now, now that you guys are in padded practice and we got preseason, regular season football. They will be here before you know it. We'll talk about training camp today, but I do just want to say real quick, the defense is always going to be better than the offense typically to start it off. And when we look at, first off, the defensive line's dominated the Broncos offensive line. That's status quo in the NFL and training camp, especially week 1 of training camp. You're prepping for the next 10 years. You're prepping at least for the next 5 seasons. Denver could start the year off 0-4. They could end the season, only winning 5 or 6 football games. But all I want to see is Bo Nix if he's the future of the franchise. And I fully anticipate he will. I mean, keep in mind, I know it was college, but this guy was a freaking stud last year. And I do think his age, he was 5 years college football, a little bit on the older side. A lot of GMs were turned off by that. I think he'll see immediate success. I don't know if the Broncos will see immediate success this upcoming season because there's a lot of moving parts and there's just like, especially offensively, there's so much young talent. I'm looking at guys like Troy Franklin, new rookie from Oregon, Bo Nix's teammate. I'm looking at Marvin Mims Jr. There's just a lot of young talent in Denver that, like I said, they might start off offensively a little bit slow, but by the end of the season, I'm thinking Bo Nix is going to be looking pretty good. So even though he had a bad day today, I keep hearing great things about him. So Mike McGlinchey said a couple of things. He's going to be great for us, talking about Bo Nix. He said he's very mature. He focuses on the details. He's picking things up very quickly. He said this quote exactly verbatim: Bo's been an impressive player in our locker room. Sean Payton, he's being smart with the football. He had Bo Nix showcased his legs earlier today. That's going to be something that helps him out a lot in the NFL. But the quarterback battle right now is between Jarrett Stidham, former number 2 overall pick Zach Wilson, and then you have Bo Nix. Sean Payton recently told reporters that all 3 quarterbacks will see first-team reps in training camp, with one earning more if he starts to separate himself from the pack. However, even if he's not going to name the starter publicly, a lot of people around the NFL believe that for the first time in his NFL coaching career, Sean Payton plans to roll out a rookie quarterback in Bo Nix. Jeremy Fowler of ESPN reported that the Broncos staff is very impressed with Bo and specifically highlighted his ability to process information at the line of scrimmage. Fowler noted that Nix threw an early interception in the practice he watched, but the rookie responded by firing 3 straight touchdown passes. Now, this was last week and the pads weren't on, but still. So then we got this excerpt here. It's not hard to see why Payton might lean in the direction. Jarrett Stidham's been in the league for 4 years. He's made 4 starts. He had a nice little run at the end of Derek Carr's tenure in Vegas a couple of years ago. I actually think he took down the Chiefs. I don't know if they took down the Chiefs, but they were competitive against the Chiefs. Zach Wilson started 33 games over the last 3 seasons, but he's completed just 57% of his passes. He has 23 touchdowns and a whopping 25 interceptions. So I don't think it's going to be very difficult for Bo Nix to win this job in preseason. But like I said, camp's going to start off a little bit shaky, and when the pads are on, that's when things get legit. And that's exactly what happened today. So I got a tweet here from Zach Stevens, DNVR. Jarrett Stidham was consistent today, including a nice 15-yard completion to Troy Franklin. Zach Wilson had the best pass of the day, 20 yards to Dulcich, and arguably the worst near interception down right sideline. Bo Nix struggled against the first-team defense as he couldn't connect on anything more than a check down in team periods. Not great to hear, but one good positive was that Bo Nix scrambled during team period and shot up the field. He's fast. Apparently, a lot of people who are seeing him play in person just say it's like he's super legit. But the defense is just constantly disrupting the offensive line. And like we said in the beginning of this video, the D line is always going to be ahead of the offensive line. So, as far as hearing Bo Nix was only completing checkdowns today, my first thought is the defensive line was probably just being freaking beasts. You got DJ Jones, you got JFM there, you got Zach Allen, Baron Browning entering his contract season, Cody Barton, Alex Singleton. There's a lot of intriguing pieces on the defensive side of things. Zach Allen's one of these players who, the last 3 years, 2 of them were with the Arizona Cardinals, and they joined Denver last season. Zach Allen, to me, is just a player who's bound to break out into stardom, even if it's just for a couple of seasons. For example, last year, he started and played in all 17 games. He only had 5 total sacks, but he had 60 total tackles. That was by far a career high. Then he had 24 quarterback hits, 8 tackles for a loss. Like, if Zach Allen doesn't have over 10 sacks this upcoming season, I would be extremely surprised. And then real quick, I just want to say on Troy Franklin, because I'm looking at the depth chart, and he's actually technically wide receiver number 5. I forget which website this is. Troy Franklin is going to be a huge favorite for Bo Nix. Obviously, they were together the last couple of years over at Oregon. Last year, Troy Franklin, I think he just flew under the radar because it was such a generational, monumental wide receiver class. It was such a crazy offensive class in general that there's a lot of players who fell to the 3rd, 4th, 5th round, especially at the wide receiver position, that are extremely talented. Keep in mind, he was drafted in the 4th round, pick 102 overall. Last year at Oregon, 81 catches, 1,400 yards, 14 touchdowns, averaged 17 yards per catch. I'm looking at cats like Marvin Mims Jr., who doesn't need technically to have a big sophomore year, but I'm anticipating a big sophomore campaign for Marvin Mims. And then you have Troy Franklin. If that offensive line can hold up, Bo Nix is going to be freaking loving that deep threat in Marvin and Troy. So, I'm not expecting anything too crazy from a team record standpoint for Denver this upcoming season, because I anticipate Bo Nix to get the week 1 start, and I do think it will be probably shaky for especially the first month, but probably the whole first half of the season as they get acclimated into the NFL. He's a rookie, rightfully so. But I'm excited to watch Bo Nix and this young Denver Broncos team face off in the regular season. I think you guys start off against Seattle, right? Hit that like button for me. Hit that sub button if you haven't already, because we're going to be covering Denver all summer and all season. If you try and get this video to 100 likes, I'll greatly appreciate it. Let me know who's starting week 1 down below. Peace.